the way you get to success is not chasing success. It's when you become a person of value. Everyone has a skill or something, but when you like perfect it, the success will chase you.
I keep on singing my song. 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 I keep on singing my song.
Crafting perfection for me, looking for matrimony. I know the system want me dead or with the shackles on me. They aiming at my character, they wanna latch it on me. But my soul and mind is two things you can't grapple from me. I grew up in the streets.
Welcome back to the SpeakUp podcast. We have a very special guest in the building. She is the CEO and founder and head designer of Desire Incorporated. She's an amazing designer, amazing. And she is also battling sickle cell anemia. Give it up for Kevinque Allen. I'm actually a little bit confused about the disease. So I thought it was more like you just get diagnosed, you understand that you have it, and then you treat that thing. But I guess it's more that comes with it?
Yeah, it's a lot more.
I did not know that. I thought it was like, I don't know. I don't know about cancer either, but you just treat the cancer. And then when the cancer goes away, you kind of just chill.
But sometimes you have like, and for instance, sometimes it can offset something else in the body, or it can affect other parts of the body in a negative way.
Okay.
And then sometimes even with cancer patients, the cancer will come back and like stronger.
That's not like with you though, right?
No. With me, I just have sickle cell. But the thing is, with sickle cell, it affects a lot of different parts of the body. So it causes like blood clots. It causes pneumonia.
Oh, so, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
So the root cause is sickle cell, but then it's a lot of things that branch off from it that you could get.
Right.
And because of that, your doctors and everybody has to be on the same page because
so like
they might be treating two different things.
Like if something's going wrong in my reproductive system, my hematologist, which is my main doctor treating the sickle cell, has to be on the same page with my OBGYN, which is, you know, the gynecologist.
Right.
And
how many doctors do you have?
Oh man, you know what?
Like, cause you already named like 3. I never go to the doctor. I don't have one. Like,
I wish there was a whole year I could go without a doctor's appointment.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's cool.
Yeah. What you mean it's cool? What does that mean? It's cool, you know. I got 12 doctors, but it's fine.
It's really true. I have like 12 doctors.
Man, I mean, I guess it could be worse, right?
It could be worse.
It could be a lot worse.
So, man, listen, just make sure I'm alive. I need y'all to work together so y'all can keep me alive.
I'll do anything y'all need to do. Just make sure I'm here.
Just make sure I'm here.
I got to be like stressful as hell. I mean, with the physical, but like with the mental as well. That shit got to be like,
yeah, that's why I see a therapist.
That's another doctor. Was that like prescribed that you should do that, or that was something you did by yourself?
They recommend that patients see a therapist. Like when you're dealing with any type of illness like that, that's that strong, like cancer, sickle cell, like whatever it is, they recommend you see a therapist because sometimes it can get to you mentally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I never did. I was like, I just suck it up. But you know.
No. And I think a lot of the sickness and stuff stems from your brain. Like it's just like it's trauma on your brain. And, yeah.
I think when you think you feel bad, you really actually feel bad.
Right.
But like when you wake up like I'm gonna have a good day, and I'm like like you're there. It's like mind over matter.
Mind over matter, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's why like depression is such a big thing, because although it's on, you can't really see it, you're not physically hurt. That mental is just messing you up internally.
It is.
My gosh.
And like I see a lot of patients, you know, that deal with depression but won't see a therapist. So they're just like, well, this is just they've come to this point where they just accepted it. This is just my life.
Were you ever at that point where you just kind of was like, this is what it is. I'm not finna.
Yeah, that's why. That's what made me decide that I need to go see a therapist. And especially in the Black community, like, you know, like Black people don't see therapists.
No.
Just don't do that. Like,
no?
That's just something that's never been done. But it's just like a stigma, like we should break.
No, for sure. What was the moment where you was like, I need to go see a therapist? Or was it a while, like, where you would think about it?
It's been a while since I was thinking about it. So, like, earlier this year in January, the sickle cell had caused 2 more blood clots, but in my lungs. Whoa. And so I was in the hospital January to February. And I literally would just lay there, like, not even try to get better, not even, like, because my doctor was like, oh, you have to walk, you have to do this, you have to help yourself get better. And I'm just like, I'm over it at this point. I'm tired of being sick. I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of seeing y'all. I'm tired of being stuck in a bed.
No, for sure.
I'm tired of like waking up every morning, like going through, because all these medications they give you, and so I was just like, I'm just tired, and I would just sit there and cry. My mom and my brother, actually, he was like, I can't believe you go through all these traumatic experiences and don't see a therapist. He was like, this is traumatic.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's traumatic for me seeing it.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's so much.
Like, yeah. He was like, you're dealing with a lot and you're trying to take it on and you can't do it by yourself. And I was like, oh, yeah, I need to sit there.
No, for sure.
Yeah. So
well, how did you go about finding one?
Through my insurance.
So you just... Okay.
Well, no, I knew what I wanted. I wanted first of all, I wanted a woman. I did want a black woman.
He's like, but I mean, I got what I got.
no, I actually got a black woman, but
okay.
I wanted one that had Christian values, because I felt like that was important too. It was hard, but I eventually found one, and she's awesome. I call her my auntie.
Shout out to your auntie, man. Sheesh. So you found her, I guess, through your insurance, and you told your insurance company what you wanted, or were you just searching? Okay. So you told them, I want Christian values. I want a woman. I want her to be black. Mm-hmm. Was there anything else?
No, that was basically it.
That was pretty much it. And then they just was like, well, this is the person.
They didn't, they gave me a list to choose from. And I had to kind of like search for them myself. So I got to Google. It took a little bit of searching to do, but
you found her.
I found her.
And this was the first time you ever done anything like that? Like going into a therapist?
Actually, I've been to therapy. Like, I went to therapy in 2012. But the thing is, I've been to therapy 3 times, like with 3 different therapists. Okay. But I've only went once, and then that was it. I would be like, I got it.
He's like, I'm done. Yeah,
right, I did it.
I'm fixed now. I'm fixed.
I don't need no more. I got it. I got this.
Right.
And then that was that. And so I've never actually been full out through the process. So I would just give up. Mm-hmm. I didn't necessarily give up. I was just like, all right,
I'm done with this. Like it's
over.
Wait, what was it? Because you just felt like you were fixed, or was it like hard, or what made you stop going?
I felt like I had it together after one session. It's like, all right, I talked about it.
That's it's out. It's out. Yeah, we know what it is now.
I done cried. All right, we're good. Yeah. So, and it's not like the therapist will follow up with me. So it was just.
Yeah, because therapy is not something you can make somebody do. They kind of have to come to you.
Yeah, they have to want it.
Yeah. So what made you want to continue going this time?
I honestly think it's because I was so comfortable with her, and she made me see things in a different light that I haven't seen it before. And then she also told me that she was going to stay on top of me too. So,
auntie. A real auntie. Okay.
A little bit scared, man.
That's what's up. Yeah. So you just kept getting deeper and deeper, or was it that first session like before where you basically expressed your problems or your situation, I should say, and that's it, and then you just keep doing that? Like I've never been to therapy, so I don't know. How is it?
Of all the other therapy sessions I've been to, it was really just me talking and like, oh my God, pouring out my feelings. And with this one, it was like she asked, specific questions, and she was
deeper.
Like, go to she even went back to my childhood, which, I never, even though I grew up with it, because I never really, saw how the effects on it and how it played a very important part in my childhood. So it was really that. And she was like, well, we got a lot of work to do. And I was like, oh, really? I thought I was fine.
We got a lot of work. That's funny. That's funny, man. That's crazy.
She was like, hey, give me your cell phone. Put my number in your cell phone. I was like, wow.
That's really good. Have you seen changes or not really?
I have. It's the way I deal with things. Because, sometimes stuff like anxiety happens. And it's like now I'm like able to see things differently or like deal with things in a little less stressful manner. So like she taught you like steps to do it, or it just kind of comes with lifting those weights off of you? Yeah, it was kind of like lifting those weights off. Was there any like moment you can think of where it was just like you feel different, like you act different in that one situation? You know what I mean? I haven't had those moments yet. Nah, so it's just a mindset more than anything. But I think I can handle them a little bit better. That's pretty cool. She's definitely been very, very, very helpful. If I was going to go to a therapist, I've been thinking about it for a while, because I actually do, like the book on the table, it talks about mental health and
and how that's kind of like the root of everything.
Yeah.
Pretty much like even with physical, even like in business.
It
all starts with you, like your what's between your ears. And I was like, I gotta go see a therapist.
You should.
I have to go see a therapist.
It's so important. I never realized this, but it's so, like, we'll go to a doctor when we feel sick. We'll go to a dentist for a toothache, but we don't take the time to sit here and like check up on our mind.
Right. And that controls everything.
Yeah.
That controls your whole body.
Your whole body, your whole entire intellect, like what you do, what you want to do, what you're thinking about doing. Like some people literally don't do because they don't think they can do it. Sometimes it's a lot of your issues stem from other places you probably never even thought of.
Right. So how, because I know you're Christian, so how did that work with with therapy? Because like you said, some people just like to actually, did you say this? Some people like to like pray it away.
Oh, I didn't say that.
You didn't say that, but yeah,
true,
like you just like to pray it away.
That is true.
So how does that work? Like your faith versus like a therapist.
Right. So the thing is with me is, yes, the power of prayers work, but faith without works is dead. So the thing is, God places people in your life and he gives you resources to help you upkeep. So you can sit here and pray all day and not deal with it. But if you don't put no work behind your faith, it's really null and void, because now you're just sitting here, okay, God, like for instance, okay, God, I want a car. But
right.
you don't even have the decency enough to get up and go get a job.
Right.
Like, what you want me to do? I'm not a genie. And that's the thing is and that's kind of like one of those places where we place God in this box. So like he's a genie in the bottle and he'll just fix everything. But he's like, no, I'm giving you what you need to work through it. That's like kind of the mindset I had to adapt to. It's like, well, I can't just sit here and pray all day and then like God sent people in my life and I just shut it out.
Right. For me, the idea of being lucky is just when opportunity means preparation. And that's kind of the same thing with faith without works is dead. Like, got to put all these opportunities in your face. Right. And then you're not prepared for them. And then you're just like, and
then you're going to be stuck.
And then you stuck. And then you're going to be depressed. And then you're going to not want to do anything. And then it's going to be a cycle.
And then it's going to lead to something. Right. It becomes a cycle.
A cycle.
And then, so it's like now, like, how do you break the cycle? Well, it goes beyond prayer. So it goes outside of the church walls and it goes outside of praying.
Right. It's action. And the action is going to see a therapist doing the work, because it is work. Right. It's tough. Like, even like doing these podcasts, it's energy being taken out of me just talking it, because it's work. It's low-key work. Because you got to like put yourself out. You know what I mean? And it's
right.
It is
and
work.
You got to be consistent with it. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where you got to make sure you don't give up. Make sure like, you speak over yourself and you like tell yourself you can do it every day.
Right. Like, what's your like frequency of going?
Once a week.
Once a week.
She told me once a week.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm going to see you once a week, every Monday.
Oh, like, okay. Okay. You just shake your head. Okay.
All right, auntie.
That's beautiful, man. Now I'm definitely finna get into therapy.
You should.
Definitely finna get into therapy.
Especially when you're doing something new, going on new ventures. Anytime there's a transition in your life, I advise therapy. Because
there's so much stress, so many things are changing.
And then like with a transition, it's going to take a new part of you, a new side of you. I definitely recommend therapy.
When would you say you would stop going?
I don't know. Because I feel like I have like 26 years of issues to work through.
It's true. It's probably, I don't know, it's probably going to take at least half of that probably to get up out of it.
I know, right? But
I
think it's when you start to see, when you're placed in certain situations and you start to see like the outcome changes. And you start to see the way you deal with things differently.
Right. It's like almost when do you stop taking medicine, right?
Well, you stop taking medicine when you know for sure that the problem is, a lot of times the problem with us is in us. So once we kind of break the cycles that we're going in, or once we kind of break it, whatever it is, how we deal with situations, I think you shouldn't stop, but you don't have to go as frequent. So you know how you don't go to a regular doctor.
A checkup. You get a checkup. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Because you still want to keep that upkeep.
You want to keep upkeep, but if you can stop the frequency. Because like, say for instance, like when I got out of the hospital from January, I had to go see doctor. Like I had to go see 2 doctors like every week. They want to see me every week. And now I'm down to like 3 months. So like the better you get, the less frequent.
The less you have to go.
Yeah.
I think we just learned something.
Right? I think I just learned something too.
That's some good shit. That's some good stuff, man. That's some good stuff. Man, because it is health at the end of the day. And
it's
just like you would go get a checkup.
Right.
A physical.
Exactly.
You want to get a physical and just get your mind right.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
And then the thing is, every year comes with something new. It comes with new challenges, new people you meet, new relationships, new goals.
Because every second you're changing.
You're always changing.
Literally every second. We're not the same people who we were when we started this.
Exactly.
We already changed.
So it's like you always gotta make sure you upkeep with everything.
Right.
And that's physically and mentally.
We just went down a rabbit hole. I ain't even trying to get down this hole, man. Wow. I wanted to actually talk about your businesses and the things that you do outside the regular 9 to 5. I know a good segue.
Okay.
So I went on your Facebook.
FBI, okay.
You know, and I saw this post that you made, and it says this: all it takes is for one person to believe in you, and that person is you. Tell me a little bit about that, and where were you, like,
when was that posted?
Where were you in your mental when you posted that?
So this was, okay, so from January to May is my busiest time of year because I do prom dresses.
Okay.
So I get all of these orders from all these different girls from different schools. But this year, I not only did prom dresses, I did graduation dresses. I did, like, photo shoots. So it was the way January and February, this is great to lead to this. So you remember in January and February, I was in the hospital.
Right.
So I literally was a little depressed because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do prom this year. Like, who's going to book me? It's too late. Like, no one's I wasn't getting any customers because I couldn't do anything. Yeah. So then March came and these girls just started hitting me up out of nowhere. It was like, hey, I heard you make fun. Hey, I heard you make fun. And then, like, before I knew it, I was really overbooked. And
God was like, just chill. I got you. I got you. I got you.
Was like, just chill.
I got you. You get better. I got you.
And it was crazy because here I was, January and February, really worried because usually that's when my orders come in and I'm able to, like, kind of pace myself. And the season for me is from January to May. So I have January to take the orders and I have all of that time therein to make the orders. And so get it ready for May. May is usually when people go to prom. March came and the orders started coming in. And even April orders was still coming in. I was like, I need this dress. I need this. I'm doing a graduation shoot. So I had orders all the way from FAM to down here to in Boca, in Miami.
Oh, you booked. Okay.
I was booked. And so when it finally ended, I made that post. I was at a time in my life where I looked back at where I was in January because I was like, man, this is the worst way to start off the year. Right. I had all these goals. I had all these plans in place. Wow. Literally everything got canceled. I had to cancel everything because I couldn't go.
Right. I mean, you're in the bed. Like, you're in the hospital.
I could barely breathe. And so I was literally I looked back over the past 5 months alone and I was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, God, like this really happened. And I think had not it been for me believing in myself or believing that I could do it, I would have never did it. So, I mean, I did the most customers and I made the most money. And that was like, 4 months? So, yeah, that was where that post came from. I was like, I was actually probably crying when I made it.
That's so beautiful, though. Yeah. That, like, the best things you, like, come from these, like, dark places. Yeah. And the struggle and, like, that pressure is
So I even crazy. Told my mom, I was like, I can't do prom this year. With my business being fairly new, this is like one of the really, really kind of important times. So that's when I get the most marketing. Like, I mean, this is when you got people doing referrals, and because prom is something that comes once a year, and like now in the Black community, everybody want like these highest.
Oh yeah, they're doing it crazy. You know, the moms gotta live through the daughters.
Like they're doing it so big this year. I mean, like, I had a client that came in. I made the gown for the girl and the mother to match. Like, what do you need a gown for? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, these moms be trying to live through their daughters, man. Hey, more power to them.
I'm like, it's fine with me. I think it's a waste of money, but I'm not gonna say that.
People want what they want, man, and you bring it to them. They
want what they want, yeah. And so it was just really awesome the way God had worked it out. And I think had not it been for me believing that I could do it, because in January I was like, I'm not doing it. There's just no way I'm gonna recover in time from this. February, like, I was determined to recover. I was like going for walks around. Like, when I finally got released from the hospital,
Right.
you know, it was hard for me to breathe. It was hard for me to walk because it was a part of my lung that was dead.
Wow.
So it was hard to do anything. And you never realize how much you use your breath.
Thank God for breath. Just thank God for the breath.
God. People would call me. I'd be like,
I can't talk.
I'm out of breath already. So I was so determined because I was going for walks around the neighborhood and like, you know, thank God for my mom and my family helping me through it. It was like, all right, let's go for a walk like this far. Or let's walk a little bit further. And I just kept pushing myself. And I was just so proud of, I was like, wow, I deserve a pat on the back. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself.
No, for sure.
You got to uplift yourself because if nobody's going to believe in you, you have to believe in you.
Right.
That's how you make it work.
And I think it was in church. I think your brother actually said it. And he was like, you have to exemplify that love in yourself and then attract that love to you.
Yes, it'll come to you.
It'll come to you. And that's what you have to do.
It's so important.
That's why that mental health is important.
Exactly.
That's why that work is important. You have to do it.
Exactly. I had read from Dr. Miles Monroe. He said, the way you get to success is not chasing success. It's when you become a person of value. Everyone has a skill or something, but when you like perfect it, the success will chase you because now you're valuable to the world.
Oh, that's so good. That's really good. Like, that's really good. That's one of them gyms. That's one of them gym. Okay.
I will always keep that with me.
Wow, man. That's really powerful. Be the success you want to see.
Yeah, literally.
Be the success you want to see.
Literally. And then it'll come to, he was like, successful people don't chase money. The money chases them. And he was like, once you do that and you perfect it and you make it unique and however your style is, you dominate.
So how long have you been making these dresses and designing clothing?
So I started sewing in high school.
Okay.
Right. It was really first a hobby, something I used to cope with sickle cell. It was like something that I did.
So what were you doing?
Huh?
Like what were you making? Like at that time?
Random stuff. Like I made like pajama pants. You know.
What made you like want to get into it?
Because it was something I was really, I discovered I was passionate about it in college. I went to the Career Center. Y'all know the Career Center.
Hey, man, shout out to the Career Center. Yeah,
right,
shout out to y'all.
They were asking me, because I was like, it was time to pick a major. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I thought it was pre-med, but I hate it.
No, I feel everybody want to be a doctor until they got to go to school. Right. Everybody.
I went to college. Was like, I'm gonna be a doctor.
I'm gonna be a doctor.
Dr. Kevinque Allen.
I'm gonna be chilling.
Kevinque Allen.
Hey, I got you. Hey, I got you. But you get in them classes.
And then I hated it. God, I hated it.
It's like that one thing that you just hate about it, like chemistry. You just hate chemistry. Or
but
like
it wasn't
something.
even really the classes. It was, I did an internship at an emergency room and I shouted this doctor. I couldn't stand it.
Wow.
Couldn't stand it.
Well, good thing.
All right.
Good thing.
And so a Career Center, he was like, well, these are all FAU's choices that you have to pick from. And then he was like, what do you like to do? I like to sew. Okay, what else do you like to do? I like to be creative. And he was like, well, you can do this, this, and this. I was like, I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to do costume design. I don't want to do this. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do psychology. And I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm here and I'm lost.
That's great, though, that you didn't know what you want. I mean, you knew what you didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even know that, though.
Right.
That's powerful in itself. Right. That's powerful in itself.
So when he was like, he asked me something so important. He was like, when you're 30, I think I was like 21 at the time. He was like, when you're 30, what do you see? What does your life look like?
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm this big time fashion designer.
Boom.
And then he's just like, well, it looks like you know what you want to do. It just doesn't follow any of these paths. I was like, it doesn't. It's like, well, the best effort you can do for you is give you the business side of things because it's ultimately the business.
Smart.
And he was like, you can just.
Well, he sold you, didn't he?
He did.
He sold you.
And I was like, cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Let me do that.
Right. And then they had this thing called Tech Runway.
And he sold. Like, hey, that's good. That's good. He sold you.
He did. He really.
But that's good.
I was like, maybe I should just not be here.
Easily. I don't know. Would you have went to college if looking back?
I would have went to a different school.
A different school. Because
I found out that Miami-Dade has a fashion program. And a cheaper fashion program than like because the only reason I didn't go, because I wanted to go to a fashion school, AI, but it costs like
an arm and a leg.
So much money.
Yeah, for fashion.
Right. And it was like, for this degree, and that FAU, it was stupid cheaper.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to come out of school with all that debt. And so I just bit the bullet and went, and my mom, she always was like, well, this was before my family kind of believed in me. It was like, well, you got to get a plan B. Well, work on your plan B. We'll always work on your plan B. We'll get a backup plan. Do nursing. Do this. And it never made sense to me of why would I work on a plan B when I don't even have plan A solidified.
Right. They was trying to say, hey, this your plan A. We just going to call it a plan B, but
right.
this is really what you got to do.
Plan A.
Right.
I was like, I don't see myself working in a hospital. I don't see myself working for corporate America. I don't see myself doing any of this. I don't want to.
So when was that moment where you're like, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm good at. And I'm going to continue to do it and pursue it.
So, oh my God, I love this question. So I literally, when I was at FEU, I had like this kind of aha. You know how you have those aha moments? Mm-hmm. It was really, really deep for me. Because I was in the hospital and I was laying there and I'm just like, I had missed, something important was going on. No, this is what happened. We were at a party and my line sister had to rush me to the hospital from the party.
Right.
I was like so embarrassed. I'm like just upset. And I'm like, why can't they find a cure for this? Or like, why isn't somebody doing something? And I literally just had this moment of like, you can make money like with your gift. And I was like, I'm going to make dresses and make these beautiful gowns and do something I really love to do and sell them and then put that money towards finding a cure for sickle cell. Because I'm really tired of going through this.
That's amazing.
And that's where that kind of came from. I guess it was God speaking. It was just really, I was literally laying on a hospital bed crying. It was like, I've got to do something. And like, it's not going to get done with, making $30,000 a year. It's not going to get done with, it's going to get done because like, average price of a dress for me is like $900. So it's like, you make that, make some dresses, you can give back. Mm-hmm. You're able to do, what you want to do.
That's amazing, man. Like throughout your story, me just sitting here talking to you, it's like in your like saddest moments or your most like lowest moments, that's when you like rise up the most. No, for real. Like a phoenix almost, like you like I'm done. And then it's just poof.
But it goes with the scripture. And I don't mean to sound like so Christian, but
what?
I always think of this scripture is my strength is made perfect in your weakness. So it's in your weakest moments to where you get the greatest strength.
I can tell.
Because you have no choice but to lean on God.
Right.
Like literally, because I'm like, that's why people be like whenever I encounter somebody that's like, why you're a Christian? Or like, you got sickle cell and God does. I'm like, listen, you don't know how much my faith has kept me intact. Like you have no choice. Like he brings you to those moments of desperation. So it's like, now I'm desperate to, hear what you have. I'm desperate to like, I need to hear from you. Right.
And without that desperation, who knows, you might have not been doing anything.
I would have been in corporate America.
You see what I'm saying?
I've probably been a doctor, probably in med school right now.
Which is not bad, but it's not something that you want to do.
It wasn't what my passion. It's
not your passion.
The thing is, sometimes when you have a gift on the inside of you, it's really for somebody else. So it's to help others. And like along this journey, I've met so many other sickle cell patients. I've gotten to speak in front of so many different people, in front of different women. I've even spoken in front of the superintendent of Miami-Dade County Public Schools about my story. And then, it's been able to inspire others. And you never really think of your story being an inspiration to others because it's like, oh, it's just
my life. It's just my life.
Right.
That's it.
It's like, it's just my past. But it has opened so many doors. And I'm like, I have some really like great doors open. I'm like, I never would have experienced this had not it been for.
That's amazing, man. What was that scripture again? What was it?
Which one?
The last one you said. Yeah.
My strength is made perfect in my weakness. Your strength is made perfect in my weakness.
I find out with a lot of people, if you just kind of hold on. Like I remember like earlier on in my college career, I read a quote. It was, if you're going through hell, Keep going. If you're going through hell, keep going.
Yeah, but a lot of people take like hardships and turmoil as a bad thing. I think it's a great thing when you go through stuff, because that's where you're either going to come out greater, you're going to get some type of revelation from it, or something great is going to come out of what you just went through. You're either going to help somebody get through what you just been through. Like, people call me, it's like, I don't understand why God did this, and I don't understand why. Like, listen, what you're experiencing, I know it's hard right now. It sucks. I get it. But what you're about to come out doing, what you're about to, like, who you're about to come out of this. Because you remember how you said, like, we're not the same. We always changing. Right. You're about to change into somebody you've never even knew you could be. Wow. So I think hardships are worth it.
Yeah, opportunities almost.
They are.
It's an opportunity to become somebody better.
2 Corinthians 12:9. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me.
That's powerful, man.
Yeah.
That is so powerful. I think we're going to end on that note. We're going to end on that note, man. Yeah. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Oh, well, thank you.
It was really, really easy with you, and you're doing amazing things. Thank you for coming on the Speak Up podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. I was so nervous, but it was fun.
You gotta keep it pushing, wipe the tears from out your eyes, and keep on singing your song.
I'ma keep singing my song. La, 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 la,
I gotta keep on singing my song.
Through the night till the dawn. But I'ma keep singing my song.
I keep on singing my song.
I'ma sing my song. La, 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 la,
I gotta keep on singing my song.
World can keep moving on, but I'ma keep singing my song.